What's up, everybody? It's your boy, HeavenHollywood. Welcome, welcome, as I should say, to the Heaven Hollywood Experience podcast. This is the most insightful, the most accurate, the most impartial, the most diverse podcast right now on the World Wide Web. Because we touch on everything from every angle, and we bring it to you fair and precise. We like dealing with what we call the facts and the stats and nothing else. Stats as in STATS. Let's get into our episode. And we're going to start this off by asking everyone out there in podcast land and all my casters out there listening, no matter what your name is, we're going to turn your name to Frank. So I don't care if your name is Janet, if your name is Desiree, if your name is Tom, Tom, if your name is, Ray. It doesn't matter. Your name is Frank right now. My name is Frank. And I'll tell you why as we go along. All right? So all you Shamikas and Keishas and Brittany's, just turn your name into Frank for right now. So can we all just be Frank for a moment? This episode is brought to you by, in case you didn't know, .blog. Get all the backstories from all of the celebrity gossip stories, past and present. And that is ICYDK.blog on the World Wide Web. Today, Cardi B, female rapper, personality, social media personality, former reality star, landed her number one record up. This is giving her her fifth number one as a rapper, and I'll tell you why that is or may not be significant. Just follow me. So the record up after Cardi B's pulverizing Grammys performance, in which she performed WAP and Up. WAP being a song with Meg Thee Stallion that also was number one. It was the biggest selling rap single of 2020 and one of the biggest singles of 2020. I believe it stayed number one more than any record. Of course, I'll have to check maybe a Taylor Swift record, of course. Never can be too sure with a Taylor out there, right? So we'll have to check whether T Swizzle, messed up everything I was saying. But it was a very big record. WAP 2020. So then 2021 she puts out Up, and this is now its 6th week on the chart, and it goes number one in its 6th week after going from two to 5 to, I believe, then it went back to 2, then 2 again, then 7. Now number one. So it's been on the chart for 6 weeks. This is the first week in number one, and that in itself you rarely see. Usually if a artist comes out and they're not number one by about the 4th week on the chart, it ain't gonna happen. So she went to number one. Big jump from 7 to 1. Now, I heard a lot of people on a lot of programs, on a lot of different phone calls, just a whole lot of upset. And I can probably tell you why. Because I can tell you everything else, so I can definitely probably tell you why. Cardi B has the whole world upset. Now, I know we always say, people always in the premise, don't compare Cardi B to Nicki. But then by bringing that up, they're comparing Cardi B to Nicki. But let's just deal with Cardi B right now. People were saying that she was paying her Bardigang, which is her fandom, Bardigang. Since she's paying Bardigang for fandoms, for people to buy, doing giveaways, to buy streams, giving giveaway gift cards and telling them to buy the streams with the card, and all these different things that are way too deep for, my liking. So, the streaming game is a way different game, okay? The streaming game is way different. The rules are way different. We have now come to a generation and an era where we don't know who's consuming what. It's just go out and get the record the best way you can. Back in when I was coming up, it wasn't no go find it the best way you can. It was like, hey, get that new Prince. It's that Sam Goody. Or get that new Prince. It's that The Wiz. Or get that new Prince. It's that Best Buy. Whatever. Paradise Records. Let's go to Jamaica Avenue and get some records and get that new, Rakim. And it was plain and simple. You support, you buy their records, they get airplay, they get number one records. Nowadays, we're not really sure what causes a stream to appear on the charts. First, it was YouTube. Now, it's not YouTube. You can buy slots on Station Head, whatever that is, some app, and it'll count towards your airplay or your radio play. People are calling up and requesting through Twitter to radio stations to please play their fave songs. A lot of times the radio station does it. Wow. And a lot of people were upset at Cardi B because she went and rented out a Station Head slot, from what I gather, and had her Bardigang. Well, she didn't have them, but Bardigang was paying for slots and paying for, people to run out and buy up. Now, here's my thing. I don't really have a problem with that. I actually consider that really, really, really smart. I consider that smart. Now, is it 100% organic? Is Cardi B's sales on her records 100% organic? Probably not. And anytime that you have to avoid, every time you have to include outside forces, that goes for anybody. That you have to include outside forces, to help you get hot. Then you have to say to yourself, really, man, am I really that hot? So I get it. Cardi B's may not be 100% organic just due to the fact of the playing field that she's playing on. But here's where I have to push back a little bit for everyone saying that. She's playing on the same field that your fave is playing on. Whoever your fave may be, if they're still out and making records right now, they're playing on the same playing field as Cardi B. The same as that playing field. Cardi B doesn't get to, use a different set of rules that no one else can use. And, a lot of times people don't want to hear the truth. And let's get this out of the way and let's go from there. When you hear people say, she ain't Nicki, she'll never be Nicki. Right? When you hear people say that, oh, she'll never be Nicki, I totally 100% flat out agree with you. I totally flat out 100% agree with you. No one will ever have the looks, the flow, the domination, the sex appeal, and the lyrical skills and the writing skills, total package combined, throw in singing and melodies. To me, she's a total package. So, of course, Cardi will never be Nicki. But guess what? The way she's going with these hits and these number one hits, Nicki probably will never be Cardi. She probably will never be Cardi either. Because Cardi B is pumping out number one after number one. Now, no one ever said, and people always tell me, oh, you make Cardi the best already, and she has not even. I have never once said out of my mouth that Cardi B was the best. I've never called Cardi B the queen. I won't go that far yet. I won't disrespect the Barb's and Nicki Minaj by saying Cardi B is the queen. So we're going to change that word. Right now, since queens, are going to be queens, and kings are going to be kings. Right now, we're going to say she is the undisputed heavyweight champion of female rap right now. And the reason why I love the terminology for wrestling is you can only live by the moment. And wrestling is, if you go out there, you might be a champion tonight, but we got Meg Thee Stallion, we got Doja Cat out there, we got Nicki Minaj out there. You might blink your eyes and you come back, you might leave your locker room number one, but you may come back number 4. So we're not going to say she is the queen right now. We're going to say right now she is the undisputed female champion, hip-hop champion. Oh, heaven, what are you talking about? Megan just won 3 Grammys. How is she not ahead of Cardi? Doja Cat, is streaming more than everybody. Why can't she be considered the queen? Why can't she be considered the champ? Well, I'll tell you why. Because of that right there. Number one up. After breaking all sorts of streaming records, again, you will see the numbers later by Billboard. After breaking all sorts of streaming records, after, taking of this week and making it all about her, with the downloads, with the thanks, with the streams, with the, you know, speaking with her fans. She made this week all about her. Now, you're going to say, but she had help. She's got a machine behind her. She's got Atlantic Records. Let's not remind you, and let's not kid ourselves. Nikki was on Young Money. All right? Young Money. And who is Young Money? Oh, they were only the number one rap conglomerate in the world 5 years in a row. Maybe even more than that. So did Nikki not have a machine behind her? I don't understand. Is Young Money not big time? A you know a you're talking about a crew with Drake, Nicki Minaj at the time. Tyga was pretty hot. I mean, listen to that crew. You don't think that they had a machine behind them? Of course they did. And I just want everyone to follow me. Not going to be long in this podcast, but I do want to touch on some points. That is called realizing your lane. That is called being familiar with your fan base. That is called trusting your fan base, that they're going to go out there. They're going to go out there and they're going to support you. All right? But it's Sympathy and Payola. Well, I'm going to push back on that a little, and I'll tell you why. We're now sitting in 2021. We've now been past the pandemic season. We were, on to another season where there was going to be no music from Cardi B. If there was going to be, it was going to be, one or two singles that didn't do anything. So she, this past week, got absolutely dragged. I've never seen Cardi B or anyone, I'm just being honest, I've never seen anyone on the internet that was a public figure, a somewhat popular public figure. I've never seen any public figure get dragged the way Cardi B got dragged on social media this week. And guess what? Even through all of that, even through Candace Owens, even through the Republicans, even through, the people who were conservative nuts, even through the name calling from Candace Owens, even through all of those things, she ends up number one. How is this possible? And could you please tell me what sympathy? I mean, where was the sympathy? I listened to her get dragged all throughout the rap community. So I don't know where that crosses out sympathy, because no one had sympathy at all for Cardi B. Now we address Payola. Well, what exactly is Payola? Let's be real. I do believe there was what was it, a poll, am I not right? And Atlantic did not top that list. Actually, Republic did. And I believe Tidal, or Warner or whatever the case was second. Atlantic wasn't even the top two. So I guess you're going to tell me next they paid Payola not to be reported about Payola? I mean, I don't know. I think that's a little overhyped. Because let's just say, okay, let's say Atlantic did use Payola. Why is Cardi B the only one that it works for? Atlantic has other artists. So why is it that Cardi B is the only artist Payola seems to work for, according to people who dislike Cardi B? So why, if we're in this era where everyone's on the same playing field, why isn't anyone else using this Payola that they speak of? If it's so out there and so easy to use, why isn't everyone else using this Payola? Somebody go get me some of that Payola. I need to use this. Why aren't rappers saying that? Hey, have you ever heard of this stuff here? What stuff is that, sir? Uh, Payola. Have you ever heard of that? I heard it's supposed to make you go number one. Oh yeah, Payola. Oh yeah, we have that in two different colors. I think I'm gonna need me a week supply of those. I'll make it 2 weeks. I want to compete for the charts for 2 weeks in a row. I'll be right back, sir. Ask around about this Payola that only Cardi B seems to be successful doing or using. Let's, guys, okay, let me stop being silly. Right now, Cardi B is dragging female rappers, and Megan Thee Stallion just won 3 Grammys. And guess what? The following week, everyone was talking about Cardi B. No one is talking. They talked about Megan's Grammy for one day because of Beyonce and this, that, and the third, but no one is talking about Meg Thee Stallion. How come her views? She's the one who won the 3 Grammys. Meg Thee Stallion is the one that should have went number one. That song with Ariana Grande and Doja Cat. Doja Cat, who also performed and had several nominations on the Grammys. And a performance. She almost anchoring the Grammys. Why wasn't these 3 Grammys enough to catapult Megan, who has Roc Nation management behind her? Why wasn't that enough to catapult Megan? Instead, everyone's talking about Cardi B. And that's the thing. She's pulverizing enough. She's good looking enough. She's marketable. Her personality she's very infectious. Everyone wants to talk to her. Everyone wants to crack jokes with her. Everyone wants to hang out with her. And let's just be honest, guys. The girl knows how to put out a bop. Point blank period. And that's what it is about nowadays, guys. She's putting out hit records. She can't play the victim because she's too busy getting dragged on Twitter and everyone is blaming her for it, saying it's your own fault. So there is no sympathy. We're far removed from that now. Now you have to look at it and say, you know what? Maybe this girl knows what she's doing. And better yet, how can we take what she's doing and do it our own way? If you choose not to use writers to collab with you, if you choose not to go on Station Head and get your own room and, have your fan base take care of you, help you out big time, if you're not willing to do that, I get it. I understand. If you're saying, you know what, I write my own rhymes, I'm just going to sit back and let the world decide based on my talent. Okay, I respect that. But, when you do not get the results that this one over here is getting, because they're using their resources and they're not still stuck. See what I did there? Up and stuck. And they're not still stuck on a 2000s mentality or a 95 mentality or heck, even a 2010 mentality. This game of rap, this game of music is changing big time. It's changing. It's not, she would have never been able to do this in the 90s. She would have never been able to do this in the early 2000s. She would have never been able to do what Nicki did because, Nicki did it with a more pure form. She did it with more talent. She did it. Again, let's be frank, okay? All of those things about Nicki Minaj and other female rappers, we're not just going to make it about Nicki. Other female rappers are true. We're living in different times now. And as much as it may stink, as much as you may not like it, heck, there's plenty of things that I don't like about this era that we're in music, this era that we're in sports. There's plenty that I don't like about it, but you know what? This is what we have right now. We can only go by what we have right now. And Nicki, again, universally known as the GOAT of female rappers. If I speak to anybody and we get into a debate about the GOAT female rapper and they say Nicki Minaj, I'm not going to get mad at them because it's a very arguable point. But what you have to realize is when people say Cardi's the queen right now, when people say Cardi is the heavyweight female rap heavyweight champ right now, we're not speaking on lifetime achievement. We're not speaking on, overall. We're not speaking on, what type of lyricist they are. We're basically speaking on what type of hip hop artists they are. And right now, Cardi B is the best female hip hop artist right now. Megan Thee Stallion is the hottest female artist right now. But Cardi B is the best female artist. When you talk about total packaging, Nicki Minaj is the best rapper out of those three. She's the better writer out of those three. And she's got more clientele, got more power, got more status than those three, got more money than anyone that we're talking about, those three. But right now, Cardi B is the female champion of rap currently. But like I said about wrestling, you can walk in the ring the champion today and walk out of there with nothing. Come on, guys. She went number one, her 5th record, with the whole world dragging her all week. Conservatives, Republicans, politicians, sponsors. And she still went number one. That's just damn good. That's not Sympathy and Payola.